next speaker of the session.
So, first presenter, Dr. Ramlaran, Vice Chancellor, DIAT from Pune. His special field, defense research. By Dr. Bekate-san, introducing.
Thank you, Chair. So, Dr. Ramlaran is the Vice Chancellor of Defense Institute of Advanced Technology, Pune. He has a very illustrious career profile of more than 36 years in the defense research and development and technology management. He has actually contributed to the underwater propulsion systems and the land propulsion systems and fighter aircraft propulsion systems. And he has been associated with NIOT in many of the projects. He received Scientist of the Year Award in 2005 and Technology Leadership Award in 2015. And with these few words, I request him to deliver his speech.
A very good evening to all of you. Generally, before I address the audience, I make certain, what should I say, assumptions, and I indicate my views. One is, I have not come here to teach the fish how to swim, because you people are all ocean technologists. I was dealing with underwater propulsion quite some years ago. Number two, after hearing to illustrious talk by quite a few senior professors, I think we also need to bring to our side a very clear clarity on thought that what we follow in this country, the technology readiness levels. The technology readiness levels are grouped into three categories. 0 to 3 or 0 to 4 is the category in which we call it concept to science. Something which doesn't exist, but it seems to be a good idea how to make it, convert it into a reasonable idea. The idea gets converted into a concept to science, where you establish the fundamentals, the implications of the variables and all that. From 4 to 7 or 3 to 7 is called technology transformation, science to technology, where the concept generated out, which gets converted into science to engineering to technology, is realized maybe in a product, I will say product, maybe as a prototype, where you can actually check for its performance and functions and satisfy yourself that there is potential to go ahead for going in for production or converting it into a product for useful applications. Of course, 7 to 10 is going in for mass, large-scale production. NIOT is, in my opinion, an institute that converts science to technology. So it is all the more important that we understand what other countries are doing, or what are the plans, what they have, and how do we align ourselves to ensure that these things in a collaborative way we are able to achieve in this country. It's very important, ladies and gentlemen, to understand that all this exercise all over the world that is going on is due to the UN resolution of sustainable development. There is, I think, if I remember right, 13th class of United Nations resolution which talks about sustainable ocean development. Under that, if you see all the areas which we have discussed so far, how to do them without creating any problem for the future generations need to be addressed. Having said that as a goal, let us also see as to how the progress is being made. And before I begin my presentation, I would like to say that since we are today celebrating the Silver Jubilee for this institute, any goal, anything what we set should be a goal which will extend or which can spread and span over a period of time of maybe golden jubilee. I only will request and plead that let us not set too short-term goals. If we start, as I told you, the technology readiness levels, we need to take up projects on science, we need to take up projects on technology, also on development of infrastructure. So some of my suggestions, what I am going to give in my talk, are my own views, which I am convinced of. Of course, it's not my own views means not that I have IP rights over them, but which I am convinced of as the roadmap, which I feel can be the roadmap for this institute. First point is, like Professor Goyal mentioned in the morning, we need to understand, I won't use words which will be a little offensive like shed off. I will like to say that what are all the things we can outsource. If from that category, if you see, my feeling is that conducting trials, keeping our offshore vessels in shape, keeping them with all the minimum required sensors so that the scientists use them to the best with any special equipments which they may require for conducting the trials, should be an area in which we need to spend time, which means if we are having an offshore management group or ship management team or whatever you call that as, should be formed out into a separate entity. The advantage of that will be that in addition to serving you, if at all if there is some spare time available, they will be available to others, and since it will be operating as a separate profit center, the performance, the expectations and the results also is likely to be good. Today the government is looking for return on investment. Like Professor Goyal told in the morning, in addition to need, what he mentioned about DRDO need to shed some of the disciplines or the areas of domain, one thing which he forgot to mention was when a performance audit of DRDO was done, which I think whether it is officially done or not needs to be done for NIOT also. DRDO was able to substantiate and prove that over the existence of 60 years, and when I say 60 years, DRDO started in 1958 with reference to that timeline. DRDO had delivered projects resulting in products which is of the value equivalent to 2.62 lakh crores. 2.62 lakh crores. I don't know how many $1 billion it will work out to because I didn't think in those lines. As against that, the government's investments in terms of infrastructure, manpower, project cost is about 72%. So today, if government decides to make DRDO spin it out as a company, it's a company which will be profitable at the rate of 32%. Where are we in NIOT on that? We are celebrating 25 years of existence. It is time we take stock of that, number one. Number two, we always keep telling that we need to augment our HR, augment our manpower. It's a fact of life that most of our engineers, students who complete their engineering from many disciplines, they tend to get carried away looking at attractive packages that are offered to them by IT industry. I think India will pay heavily for that. After a few years of working in an information IT companies, they neither become an IT expert and they would have lost their domain expertise. So to that extent, what is that as scientific institutes what we can do is to motivate them during their final year of graduation or during the post-graduation levels to visit different technological institutes, trigger in them the feeling of what it means to be an engineer, attract them to do good, useful, challenging projects, existing live projects, and keep the spirit of, what should I say, innovation alive in them. To that extent, very soon, the place where I presently belong to, Defence Institute of Advanced Technology, which is basically a postgraduate institute, will be signing an MOU with NIOT, agreeing to send postgraduate and doctoral students to work here in NIOT for a win-win situation. I think you understand that. So these type of concrete steps, laying down very clear directions for the roadmap, spread over reasonably a good time period, only will enable us to judge upon return on investment. This is what is my premise. Let me come to the talk. Potential. As you all know, more than half the world population is somewhere within few tens of kilometers from the coastal line. This is statistics. What does it mean to me if I am in NIOT? It means to me there is always a good chance that some of the zones are exposed to tsunami factors. This means to me that if I have a good product to predict tsunami, I will be able to promote that product, which it should be economically viable and technically good, so that my institute develops different higher versions of this product, at the same time tries to be commercially viable things that is getting introduced into the market. The second encouraging factor which I have mentioned here is the market value of marine and coastal resources is about 3 trillion per year, which is about 5% of global GDP. Gentlemen, I am sure that 5% of an economy means a lot, and that too we are talking about global economy. The reason as to why I mentioned these 2 points in this slide is the potential is infinite. The potential is much more than what we can deliver, provided we are able to exploit the situation and make sure that the roadmaps what we make leads to this type of path-breaking technologies leading to products. As again, one more point I would like to mention, like what Professor Goyal told in the morning. Of course, renewable energy we all know, and it is going to be the order of the day, whether you like it or not. Maybe down the line, 5 years, 10 years, none of us can violate UN resolutions. If we are going to count on carbon emissions, renewable energy is only the solution. And where are we in that? Again, from a global perspective, the power that can be derived from waves is estimated as 1 terawatt. Added to that, if you are able to take up the challenge of physics of reducing the frictional losses and also the other associated problems, it will be equivalent to about 10 terawatts, which is equivalent to the present global consumption of power. It may look like a very tall order, but we as a small team in NIOT, we don't need to go to that extent. But this gives you an indication that if you are able to fine-tune the systems of conversion of wave energy into a potential form of electrical or whatever the other types which will be useful to us, pertaining to Indian conditions. I am a person who says If somebody says difficult, I'm not interested. If somebody says impossible, I'll be very much interested in doing the job. For Indian conditions, if we need to develop a wave energy converter and make, forget terawatts, at least megawatts, a few megawatts to the localized population support. And as renewable energy, it's nothing like other than installation and initial commissioning cost. It is all energy that comes from nature. I only will request generously to all of you, don't give up. In fact, what they say is, tough sea only makes a good sailor. When the going gets tough, only the tough will get going. The present challenge as far as technology is concerned in conversion of this wave energy is, all of you know scientifically also, the wave transfer their energy in a slow and irregular fashion, whereas most of the present day, please understand, present day technologies, what we have for conversion, where we require maybe higher speeds and regular movements. I think the line is so fragile that with your innovation and with your brilliant thinking, these two factors can be made to null in no time. All that is required is effort. As I mentioned to you earlier, I'm sorry, I said 13, it's actually 14. Sustainable Development Goal from the United Nations, which aims to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas and marine resources for sustainable development. India is a signatory to it, and there is no going back on that. I'm telling you, this statement is alone enough to ensure profitable, sustainable and commendable performance that can be generated by NIOT for next 25 years. We need to align ourselves and focus ourselves so that this theme is a theme for the world, and we need to work towards that in this country, because practically if you say in terms of ocean technology, this is the only institute that is existing today. What are the other countries doing? The European Union has got its own programs, and another program, I think DOOS, which is being led by United States, I think, where Dr. Venkatesan from India is also a member. The urgency, the need, the restlessness is being felt all over the world for development of these technologies to meet most of the set of ambitions. And instead of, generally we call it in DRDO, competitive world. I think that term has to get changed to collaborative world. That too in science and technology pertaining to this type of areas, I am sure that collaboration is much more easier and realizable, so that together we will achieve what individually we cannot do it alone. These are all the areas, as per my information, the European Union is working, and the team led by Americans, where I think Americans, Germans, Russians, Norwegians, Japanese, Indian, quite a few countries are members to that. They came up with a very detailed document as to the areas in which we all need to focus in a collaborative manner, work together and make the life of the future generation more comfortable. I am sure that for NIOT, personnel from NIOT, this may not be new, but in case if there is somebody from outside NIOT present here, for their benefit, let me just read out what is DOOS. Earlier we had, I am sure that we all know about DOOS. Now it has been converted into DOOS. DOOS represents a coalition of international deep ocean stakeholders. Interesting enough, India has got a participation from science, management, government, and industry for waters within and beyond the national jurisdiction. Every word is important. Ocean observers, data managers and data users are all encouraged to participate in guiding rules. Researchers, educators, regulators, policymakers, NGOs, there is nobody left below the sun. Everybody can contribute. Okay, having said that, what are all the policy guidelines that they have laid and why so? Being a scientific organization, we need to really know what is that is driving us to do our job. Whether we like it or not, sooner or later, any amount of research closer to the coast is going to be practically not yielding the type of results what we are looking for. It is very important that we start concentrating on deep ocean. Deep ocean, in fact, I have a representation for that. It is, and we are really blessed because we have our own Indian Ocean. And today morning somebody was talking about the static observation posts that are located in Indian Ocean. In fact, I have one which shows that it is so scantily populated with this type of sensors that most of the interpretations which we are going to do with this data, I'm not sure how correct it will be. There is immense potential because on the other hand, we don't have adequate seagoing ships, research vessels to be deployed to find out the details. So it is essential that we also concentrate on deploying more number of fixed sensors alignment. And also, in fact, towards the end of my talk, I am going to focus on multi-sensor development. It's no point trying to have one sensor for measuring temperature, one sensor for pH, one sensor for salinity. I mean, it is like, we are having so many people doing so many jobs. Those days are gone now. We should have multi-measurement sensor technology. How to package them in an effective way so that, in fact, in aerodynamics we have scanty one. It is, in fact, if you are seeing anywhere your wind tunnel, you may require measurements to be done across at different locations. There is one rotating component which keeps in touch with each of these walls, for example, pressure distributions or velocity distributions or whatever it is, and keeps communicating those data through a non-contact mechanism, so that practically if you see, you will feel that there is only one sensor out there. A similar type of, I'm not telling similar means exactly same, something like that to measure with one, not one sensor, if possible, yes, why not one sensor, multiple variables, so that the compactness can be realized. Compactness in an underwater scenario, I'm sure gentlemen, you can appreciate. While Blue's program was conceived and being generated and followed up are based upon certain science courses which contains everything under ocean, right from microbes to marine population to oxygen variation to deep sea mining, everything under the sun. So it is very important that we start focusing on to that, because the target lines that are set for realizing some of these outcomes of those will be there by 2022 and subsequently, and unless otherwise we are able to make some meaningful contributions, this institute requires international recognition. If this type of recognition need to come, so that we will get more exchanges among the domain experts, more exchanges between people who are working and sharing the data, we need to establish ourselves internationally. It's very, very important, and for this we need to align ourselves. And I think I was telling you about this. It shows the different areas in which different type of activities take place. And basically we are going to also try to see, for the sake of future generation, the effect of temperature induced variations on sea, which will have a significant effect on the land. basically presently I am in Pune. I was told in the last 22 years we never got rain like that, non-stop for nearly 41 days. Either it was raining heavily or raining lightly. We were not able to see the sun. It is only a beginning. The days, the years that are going to come are going to be much more worse, unless otherwise we try to identify the root cause for all this and try not to damage further. Whatever damage is done. Not to damage further the Mother Nature. I think we will be punished severely. Yeah, these are all the science challenges which all of us know. Here again, it is clipping I have taken from Lou's document. It also talks about what are all the different areas in which they are planning to focus to work. As I'm sure as ocean technologists you will be able to appreciate it better. And as you see, the concentration is more towards depths more than 3,700 meters. It goes further and further, but the effect of surface itself is going to be dominated by deep ocean technology, deep ocean phenomenon. If that be the case, it is more important that we understand the root cause than trying to treat the secondary statements. This is one point which I made in the beginning, that all these type of different platforms need to be spun out, maybe as a different institute or whatever you call it. But the scientific manpower deployment for any of this work, I don't think can be justified in the coming days. As I told you about sensor status and development, after I have joined DIAT, Defense Institute of Advanced Technology, of course, for dual use applications, we have started a sensor department itself. We basically have made good progress in optical sensors and also some other sensors for different applications. But I have told this country requires two areas in which we need to progress. One is sensor development, second is propulsion. We have, with our own brain, developed extremely good, what should I say, instrumentation, electronic systems, PCBs, boards, control systems, you name structures, materials, everything. What is lacking today is sensor development and also propulsion development. As far as NIOT is concerned, in my opinion, a lot of effort, focused effort needs to be made regarding sensor development, which will be of direct application to you. At the end of the whole game, what is that you are going to get? You will get maybe so many GB of data. What we need to appreciate is tomorrow data is power. Data is going to decide at any given point of time who is defined as more knowledgeable. It is not a question of whether you know something fundamentally or not, whether you have the data or not. Data awareness, data generation is going to be the important futuristic requirement. So the moment we say that, it starts from sensor to storage devices and with a sort of secured storage devices so that the data is not lost, not corrupted, and as a scientific community, we should be able to share those data amongst our own cloud. It should be findable, means it should be accessible to any genuine party, and it should be reusable and it should be dependent. So, these are the guidelines which need to be followed, of course, which we are following also, but the point of concern is we also should make sure that the data doesn't get corrupted. Of course, if I am speaking from DRDO side, I can make many more statements, but as an academician, I will stop here. Data is power, and ensuring the data security and storage without getting into the problem of corruption of the data is the foremost important activity for any research institute. This is what I was telling you earlier about deployments of different locations in which all these type of things are deployed. If you see below India, we have fixed sites. What is shown in that light green color. If you see the density wise, density of these sensors measuring devices which are fixed at that location versus the overall density, it is very scarce. That's why I was trying to tell you that the interpretation what we make or whatever we try to make meaningful data out of this itself will become a question mark. Here from now onwards I have 3 or 4 more slides about different types of sensors which we need to focus on, which are the requirements for the future. I think I will skip them due to paucity of time. But these are all realities of life. There is no escape to that. With these few words, let me thank you for your patient hearing.
Thank you for excellent presentation. So let's open the question time. Or the question, please.
I would actually, I think it was an impressive presentation from two civilians who have given a presentation from the point of view when you are coming from actually from the area side. There is always actually dichotomy is there between actually the civilians doing the science and you doing science or you doing or you are trying to protect the country. But at the end of the day, actually you look at it, we are in an era, where, you have to share data. Without sharing data, without appreciating others' efforts and all this, you can't stand yourself alone. Otherwise, I think all your interpretations are only to yourself. And it is in your almara, it is there in your shelf and all, it's not in other shelves. So there is always been a problem in terms of actually the CTD data that is being shared and all, and you have got some kind of I think some regulations on the civilians not to do this and so on and so forth. But I still find is that one is that actually green I think deployments of which sites you have shown. That is when you say Indian Ocean, it's India owns the Indian Ocean. There is nobody else who has got capability to come even and deploy there. You have all small countries as an Indian Ocean rim countries. So India alone cannot do it. Therefore, actually, all those sites and all, it has been under a collaboration with NOAA. That's what I'm sure that Other than that, there are abundant number of actually arbor are there in that region. Okay, they are offering an immense amount of data. Therefore, unless we open up, and actually you have to open up. Much more than us. We are as scientists and technologists. We have opened up long back. That's after independence, it took for us about 20 years, and then we have opened up. For you, actually, how you want to drive this, is a mechanism. Number 2 is that I will not accept the fact we don't have platform. Actually, DRDO and actually, we also have actually NHO and all, you have a fleet of ships. You go and you take your own data, you collect and it is in your cover. And you have never made an inter-comparison, inter-calibration of instruments. I buy actually seabird instrument I will buy for separated, conductivity, temperature, actually depth and all. That is only seabird that has been accepted, worldwide. Whereas you go to actually general oceanics, you will buy. These two data cannot be compared. It has its own accuracies and limitations, so on and so forth. So it has to be. No, number one is that we have to sit together. Sit together, for the country. Then only, we can achieve. Otherwise, you collect your data, I collect my data, I write my scientific papers, and you use it for your own self. Therefore, that is, one important contribution. We all have to agree to do that. Number two is that actually climate change scenario, you have no carbon measurements are not there. Simultaneous measurement with respect to the air and the sea water. Very scanty observations are there. Unless you take continuous observations at least in our Indian Ocean or around Indian seas and all, you cannot talk about the climate change. Anything you talk also independent. Thank you.
I agree with you.
Thank you. Please simply quick answer.
Can I just respond to one point which he made, which is really correct. Earlier days, maybe 20 years before, we used to call certain things as dual-use technology, which were denied to us from abroad because it can be used for military applications. Today the scene has totally changed. Without naming the country, I can tell you people approached and they told, unless otherwise there is a civilian application, it is not commercially viable. You tell me whether there will be a civilian application for this so that it becomes marketable. The whole world is changing. What he said is correct. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, last presenter. So, Dr. Sanil Kumar, NIO from Goa. His special field, naval research, by Dr. Begasan introduced.
Dr. Sanil Kumar is working in National Institute of Oceanography, Goa as a chief scientist and is also a head of business development there. He had passed his PhD from IIT Bombay and MTech from NIT Surat, and he has contributed to the many of the industry development project of National Institute of Oceanography. With his vast experience on different data collection and different locations, I'm sure that he will have a very interesting presentation. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dr. Venkatesan. So, respected Chairman, reporter, distinguished delegates, staff members of NIOT, NCCR, and invitees. First of all, I would like to congratulate Team NIOT for achieving many glories in the last 25 years. I would also like to thank Dr. Atmanam, Director NIOT, for inviting me for this function and giving an opportunity to talk on coastal engineering where we are. So coastal engineering, as you all know, that it involves the practice of civil engineering along with the science of oceanography and coastal geology. So basically it was to control coastal erosion, build and construct coastal protection measures and develop ports. So now when you look at our coast, so a large number of population lives in the coastal area, and also we know that bulk cargoes are transported by this ocean. So there is a lot of development taking place in the coastal area, like development of ports. Now government also has given a lot of emphasis on increasing the capacity of ports and all. So the increasing population coupled with the developments poses large problem to the coastal area. The main problem faced by the coastal area are like coastal erosion, then flooding, coastal flooding, siltation of river inlets, and most of the port channels are getting silted up. So it is a big challenge for the society and the ports. So now recently NCCR has come out with a very good information. So for the entire Indian coast, so which are the areas undergoing erosion and which are the stable coast and accretion. So if you, so this is a very good information, and the atlas is already published. So you can see that more than 25% of our coastal structures under erosion. And when you walk around the coast, so we can see a different type of coastal protection measures implemented at different locations. So because many things might have not done with any scientific study because it is like a immediate requirement. Like some many places earlier practice was going on dumping stones. So that is we call as a seawalls. Some are like design and some may be just emergency means they go and dump. And even like islands. So there are and so these tetrapods, small tetrapods are dumped in islands. Then even where the area stones are not available, so they are done with gabions. But these are things within one season itself it got damaged. Then groins. Then this is again Mumbai tetrapod. And even Goa, there was a small erosion, and so immediately a geotube was put, but that also didn't last for a long time. So why these failures are happening, or some of things are not effective? So when you look at the coastal morphodynamics, there are like large number of parameters involved in that. This is like the natural and anthropogenic changes. So basically the main cause is the wind generated waves. So we should know that what is the waves in that area or the currents in that area and how it contribute to the sediment transport. So if you cannot understand the sediment transport properly, then planning the coastal protection measures will lead to wrong results. And so what we know at present, so coastal understanding is based on multiple sources of information, like mainly based on the case studies or like a field data is required. Sometimes it is depends on the physical model. Then theoretical development also is there. Then numerical simulation. So we should know all these parameters together because it cannot be available with one agency. So that's why the cooperation between different organizations like academy, field, and then the users is required. Then we have a very good technological development in the last 30 years because again putting moorings at every location is very difficult. So now there is a very good information through remote sensing. Morning also many have mentioned that so we can cover large spatial and with a good temporal variability. Then we now our understanding on the theoretical work is already improved. So the empirical earlier we were doing with the empirical relationship and physical models. Now it's slowly getting replaced by the numerical model. Then also now we have very good data sets like data boy network which NIOT has put for the last more than 15-20 years. Now we have a very good data set. So this data set we are able to compare our numerical models. Then data boys network is the deep water. Then we are also having a network of buoys at 15 to 20 meters. So I am talking only about the waves. So this now allows us to monitor how the storms are coming or cyclones and their impacts. So also our high performance computers has revolutionized our numerical model capability. Now we are able to go with very fine grids because if the structure is very small, like 10-meter grid or something is required. So now we are able to do that because for that we need very good computers. So, but when you talk about what are the topics, if you see in 1991 or 2013, so the main research what is happening is on the hydrodynamics. If you see the out of 100, around 50% of the papers are based on hydrodynamics, then sediment transport, structures, beaches. So as I told, so waves play a major role in the coastal stability or the erosion. So now we have a very good forecast system, or we have a very good numerical models available. So with the data boy, so this figure shows that in the Arabian Sea, NIOT data boy 8002. So we are compared with the model results. So we can see that wave height and the wave period perfectly matching for the high condition. That is during the monsoon, very high waves also it is matching. And if you see for 1 year, this is at a shallow depth where MOS again is having a program to invoice, which NIOS we are also associated with that. So there are 16 buoy network in the Indian shallow water areas. So there also we can see that the model, numerical model gives very good results. So the deep forcing parameter now we are works with the forcing parameter. So we look at the, so based on the numerical model, so we can derive the climatology for the Indian coast. So if you see the annual picture, then we are having a lot of seasonal variations, like monsoon creates very high waves because of the bilateral jet. So we get in the west coast average 2.5 meters, whereas other period it is less than 1.5. So many speakers earlier also talked about the wave energy. So because of this high seasonal variation, so we get a wave power of around 10 kilowatt per meter average during the annual. But the problem is most of our energy, like 60 or 70%, is only during the monsoon period. Remaining period we are getting the waves less than 1 meter for the west coast. So the peak power is much less than 3 or 4 kilowatt per meter. That is one challenge. Then, so now we are having the, these are all the buoy network. So with this, now we know very well how the waves approach the coast. So we are having for the west coast 3 wave regimes. Like one is coming from the northwest. So this is due to the Persian, the low level jet from this area. Then during the monsoon we are getting the Somali jet, and then we are getting the southern ocean swells. So earlier we were not knowing this information. So now when you see that even from Antarctica coast, whatever the waves generated, it travels all the way in 7 to 10 days. It reaches our coast. So this shows like 2017, the wind system at 70° east, and it generated this swells propagating towards the coast. So we have a very good information, knowledge on this, what is the forcing parameter and which direction it is coming. And recently we also identified another system in the Balochistan area. So there also there is a low level jet. So that also is blowing, and it again because of this buoy network along the coast. So we are having it every 150 meter. This one buoy network is there. So with this we know how these waves are propagating. And these are like again short period waves. So this will have large implication on the sediment transport. So that I will come in later. So again, based on that, we know that now the climatology of Indian Ocean, if you see from 1979 to 2017 or something. So now we know what will be the maximum wave which can occur in any location. And this again with the shallow water comparison with the buoys. And this is again Arabian Sea, deep sea buoy of NIOT and the Bay of Bengal one buoy. Then we can see that even during the violent cyclone, we get waves up to 13 meters. That is like a 3 to 4 story building, residential building. And but whereas the west coast, we are getting we measure waves up to 8.6 meters. So the structures, whatever we are designing, so it has to withstand this force. Now another very important thing is cyclone generated wave, because oil and platforms are coming. They are setting up the platforms in the coastal areas or the deep sea. So then the air gap, how high the platform has to be there. So this information again based on the crust height. So crust height is not half the wave height, so it varies from 0.6 to 0.7 meter during the cyclone. It increases. So this information, luckily because that MOS buoy was right on the cyclone path during the filing, so it could record completely from the cyclone initiating time. So distance of the cyclone from the buoy. So when it comes here, so how the wave height varies, how the spectrum varies. So this spectrum is required for designing again how the response of the structures. So then we know how the frequency slope changes. So the design wave also. Again, if you look at some locations along the Indian coast, so we can see that recently the muscle cyclone like Violin, Elia, all the cyclones, recent cyclones only becomes very high, produce waves up to 15 to 17 meters. Maximum wave, that is. So then NIOT has come up with another very good product that is called the Wave Atlas. So based on the technical criteria Atlas, so now we are jointly using the data and coming with design parameters for the different coastal grid area. So again for 19 locations. So this data, then we are also studying different methods, how the design varies, because this providing a design parameter to the industry is a very liability also, because if the structure fails, so when you give the data, so we have to be very careful. So again, we have to check with the different methodologies and what is the maximum wave height generated in that area. So these are information now is readily available for any designers. Then other one is when you want to design platform, you should know which we go for like last 20 years or 30 years data. So if you take like data for the old 30 years, so we are getting wave height with only design wave height up to 5 meters earlier. This for one case for Gopalpur only, because this is an area where two cyclone influences come. So if you see from 1979 time series data, model derived data for a full year, most of the time the wave height is less than 4 meter. Only during these two cyclones has completely changed the scenario. So if this two cyclone was not considered in the design, so we are getting a design only up to 5.1 some value up to here. If you consider these two cyclones, the design wave height completely changes. So see that how the cyclones can change. So if somebody has designed with this data, so the structures will be having that like 30% high wave height is coming due to that. Other important aspect is like how there is waves and the interaction with the beaches. So this we are having a program with the NCCR. So continuous monitoring from like 2008 onwards. This for the Karnataka Samoda area. So monthly beach profile and waves in the nearshore area. This I want to show that because most of the area this area, wave height is less than 4 meter, 3.7 and what. So this is one monsoon, another monsoon, another monsoon. 2009 the wave height increased, slightly increased. It was up to 3.7 previous year. This year come up to 4.3. But this shows the beach volume change. See, we can see the one profile, it is one varied down. So when we plan the coastal structures, so placing the coastal structure is very important. The erosion protection measures. So somebody has built a structure here, then again it will get eroded. So we have to be careful whatever structure is developed in that. So for that we need to know what is the beach profile in that area for the different season. So this year, here the wave height was persisted continuously for 33 hours. It completely beach was eroded. So like that, so we should have now at least we know that information for that area, and this information is used by ADB for making the coastal protection measure for Karnataka. Now, where we lack, so instrumentation for nearshore measurements are limited because for the up to 10 or 15 meter water, so we are having where buoys and things like that. But when you want to do the measurement less than 10 meters, which is a harsh condition where the waves comes and breaks, so we cannot keep the ships there. So this is the area where we need to develop some of the techniques or instruments how to measure this continuous time series data. Is very difficult in this area because again we at present also we are using like very crude methods like manually deploying some items, keeping the pressure sensor instrument just below the breaker, but we are not able to keep it for long period because it will be disclosed. So again drifters, development of drifters is required. Then again sleds, sediment tracks, because that will not stay there. Again, we use something like this for sleds. So this is one area where we lack the technology, and also long-term measurements in the coastal area is very difficult. Again, another constraint is like fouling. Any instrument keeping in this coastal area for larger area. So if it was a current meter, so after 3 months, so it is completely fouled. So we should have some very good technology, some tail or something, or how to avoid this corrosion problem. See, this is obvious, completely, so no data was there after, this is just within 3 months. Another problem is like, this is the area where the intense fishing activities are going on. So the fishermen, because they keep their net, drifting net, so this net comes and entangle with this moving of the instrument, and mostly the instrument get drifted. So we are finding it is a very challenging problem because with the inputs we are having a continuous measurement for the last 10 years. So we are involved with 8 locations. So there most of the time this problem is coming, even though they know the boy is there. So but they are also going there for their livelihood. So this is, so we should have some technology how to avoid this net coming towards that. Then other one is like green mussel growth on the mooring line. So every 6 months or 4 months we have to retrieve the instrument and remove it because its growth is very high, especially in the west coast. Then nets again getting entangled. So these are the big challenges for coastal measurements. So if you wanted to measure again sediment transport, so we have tried with a very earlier, but then we can see that we are not able to get very good correlation with the measurements in the theory. So there is a large scope for improvement in the theory. So this is for the west coast. Again, we saw that there are a system coming from like this from the northwest, then there are some system coming from southwest, and the spectra looks like this, and the direction is the blue color. So slight change because energy is same in both the peaks. So whereas the direction is almost like a very large jump. So if this peak was high, so the designer get a wave height of 330, whereas when this peak is high, the designer get a wave height of 210. So it will completely change the direction of lateral drift along the coast. So this may lead. So if we are not properly checking the data, so if you design a coastal protection measure, assuming this, so for a southerly drift, whereas the reaxial drift may be from the northwest. So this we have to be very careful. So again, interannual variations in the sediment transport take place because of that. This is a pre-monsoon. This is for 1 year, for like 6 years, 2011 to 2017. So we can see that wave height change is not much, but as the direction change is very large in the pre-monsoon, so it results in change in the direction of the sediment transport. In this, there is a large interannual variations, whereas the sedimentary dynamics during the monsoon contributes to 80% of around the sediment transport. So what we need is in future when we look, so the field engineers, like what are the different departments involved in this one, so they should be getting involved in the research, like whatever work we do for the coastal erosional protection is again going to the state PWD or again Ministry of Water Resources. So their involvement has to be there in all this activity, or if it is a port related activity, then the Ministry of Shipping. Then other one, Dr. Disa always mentioned that failure case histories. So because we know that some of the coastal protection measures are failed. So but we don't know when we look why it failed. So the what design it was done. So that information is lacking. So if we have a very good case history, then at least we will know why it failed and what are the how we can improve from that. So research should focus on the subzone area and social conditions, because that area process-based hydrodynamics and sediment transport modeling. Because now, as I told earlier, numerical modeling is becoming the backbone of coastal engineering. So any input if you give, we will get some output. So if you are not sure the input whatever we are given, so the output also may vary. So we have to be very careful with the outputs. So that's why the field evaluation is very important. So we should generate a database for the lateral drift in the coastal fluid velocities, sediment concentration profiles, how the sediment concentration varies, because and transport along the sandy beaches. As I told in the morning, because most of the ports when crores of rupees only for removing the silt from the navigation channel. So if you can come up with some solution, so even they are ready, they will be ready to share some of the revenue with us. Then validation of morphodynamic models with improved sand transport models to predict the sediment transport both longshore and foreshore. Then inlet process. Most of the inlets are getting seated up. So we should also look at why it is, what are the processes involved with that. Then advanced technology for data collection subzone. So this is now slowly coming up, airborne LIDAR to map the nearshore bathymetry. Also we can have something looking to the coast, from the coast to the sea, like LIDAR for nearshore and currents, because NIOT already having product that is for the larger area. So I'm looking is only the subzone and very close to coastline. Then how to get like time series profiles of sediment load in subzone. So that is in brief. So I thank again Director NIOT and others for giving me an opportunity to talk on this.
Thank you for interesting presentation. Let's open the question time. Oh, please.
Sorry, it's not a technical question. You mentioned about a wave atlas. Is that produced by NIO?
No.
NIO?
NIO made earlier based on the ship reported data. Now it is with the NIOT. NIOT. This institute.
Do you know if it is available for
Yes.
sale?
You can just contact Dr. Jana. He's sitting there or Dr.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Another question? Okay. Well, thank you very much. Presentation. Before the closing this session, I would like to say that I appreciate all presenter and audience. So all speakers delivered very interested and varied topics of advanced ocean technology. This information will be contributed next NIOT strategy program, I believe. So, and I'm sure young students learn very important information from this presentation. So, thank you for contribution this session. Let's close this session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now we request Professor Itikami to present a memento to the speakers of this session. Dr. Ura, Professor Emeritus, University of Tokyo. Dr. Anthony Pascal, University of Lisbon, Portugal. Dr. C.D. Maleshwar, former Director, NSL. Dr. C.P. Narayanan, VC DIIT Pune. Dr. Sanil Kumar, Chief Scientist, NIO Pune. Thank you all. A visit to our facilities and laboratories has been arranged now. Those who are interested to visit our labs can assemble outside near the port.